right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
In August, we started out in the 50s, pretty much area-wide. Surely we can't do that 2 days in a row, right? We'll track temperatures for the next 24 hours and how long we can hold on to these nice, cool mornings.
I got an officer fighting for his life.
On the day marking 10 years since Michael Brown's death, a peaceful protest turns violent in Ferguson. A police officer seriously hurt trying to make an arrest.
We want people to peacefully protest, but we damn sure ain't gonna allow you to destroy this city, and we ain't gonna allow you to hurt none of these police officers.
With the North County city once again in the national spotlight, people in the community now sounding off.
It's not about what happens to us, it's how we respond to it.
We want to thank you for joining us at 10. I'm Brent Solomon. Right now, Ferguson police officer Travis Brown is in critical condition. He just started with the department in January. The police chief tells us Officer Brown suffered a severe brain injury after a peaceful protest marking 10 years since Michael Brown's death turned violent overnight. As Travis Cummings reports, the chief now has a stern message.
10 years later, I got an officer fighting for his life. It's enough, and I'm done with it.
Ferguson Police Chief Troy Doyle emotional as he addresses a demonstration that turned destructive overnight outside the department on Friday, the same day Michael Brown was killed by a Ferguson police officer 10 years ago.
We allowed the protesters to block our streets out here. Not only did we allow the protesters to block our street, we even provided a car on the north end and on the south end, so the protesters couldn't get hit by vehicles.
But then the chief says protesters started to shake and break the department's fence.
It was at that time I sent out an arrest team to make an arrest for destruction of property.
3 officers were injured, one with severe brain damage. Police say they even stepped in to help one demonstrator with a seizure. Residents and others have their own recollection of the night.
Never was there an order issued that it was an unlawful assembly. So police came out, rushed into a crowd, panicked, it was melee. So I would definitely put that the onus on the injuries that happened last night was on the police department.
One of the people that did get detained, when she went up with her camera, with her phone, she got pushed back. I got it on film. That agitated the situation.
Doyle maintains they've done the work to be better.
Everything that the activist community has advocated for, as far as body-worn cameras, implicit bias training, crisis intervention training, all this stuff, we have done all of this. What are we protesting?
The chief wants the people his officers work for to show them and this community's history respect.
We want people to peacefully protest, but we damn sure ain't gonna allow you to destroy this city, and we ain't gonna allow you to hurt none of these police officers.
Travis Cummings, 5 on Your Side.
And tonight, 5 people are charged in last night's violent protest, among them Elijah Gant of East St. Louis. According to a probable cause statement, he was running from police to avoid arrest when Officer Brown stood in his path. Gant knocked Brown down, who fell and hit his head, causing that severe brain injury. Gant's being held on a $500,000 cash-only bond. Our coverage of the violent protest continues now with Annie Kroll. And Annie, how are people reacting to all of this?
Brent, business owners tell us today they felt a call to action to try to elevate the Ferguson area after Michael Brown Jr.'s death. One owner says the protesters he met last night were there to reflect and remember Brown a decade later.
There can always be one bad apple, 2 bad apples in a bunch.
On Friday night, protesters gathered peacefully outside the Ferguson Police Department to mark 10 years since Michael Brown's death. Shortly before midnight, a group of protesters broke a fence, leading police to authorize arrests. That's when Officer Travis Brown was assaulted and seriously injured. Hive Cafe owner Maurice King says he sat down with some protesters who drew chalk messages on his doorstep.
I had deep conversations with those individuals, and you can only speak from your personal perception, but those individuals weren't troublemaker.
Also on South Florissant, owners of Latte Lounge HG Eatery weren't sure what to expect on Friday night.
We prayed over every business on the street that they would be protected because we know how things happened some years ago. It's about how we're responding to things.
Courtney Harris attended Friday's Black Ball and Brown Memorial Walk. A friend of the Brown family, she supports Chosen for Change, founded by Michael Brown Sr. to help people process grief.
Movements are movements. They are full of people that are passionate, that are angry, and that are still trying to find a place to show that anger and to get some type of response. There are different modes of protest and different modes of bringing awareness and attention.
Chosen for Change is hosting a press conference on Monday at 11 a.m. and a community defense training starting at noon as part of the Youth Justice Day of Action. They want to focus on children growing up and feeling empowered, as well as increasing tools to respond to trauma and conflict. Brent?
Very useful information. Thank you, Annie. 10 years after Mike Brown's death, leaders who came out of that movement are still working to bring change to our region. Many of those who were on the front lines during protests a decade ago are now working in civic and political positions on the local, state, and national level. We're spotlighting the familiar faces that are continuing the work after drawing inspiration from the past.
We all can live in a city. We all can live in a world. We all can live in a community where it's fair and just, no matter your skin color, no matter how you grew up. That ain't gonna happen overnight, but it's happening, and it's happening because of the Ferguson movement.
You can see much more of that interview in our special Race, Listen, Learn, Live, Voices of Ferguson. It airs August 22nd at 7 p.m. The hour-long special takes a closer look at how far Ferguson has come since that day, the healing that has taken place, and the work that remains. We want to get you now to some breaking news. The Missouri Highway Patrol now investigating a shooting involving a Sullivan police officer on I-44. About 2 hours ago, Sullivan police were called to a report of a man who was running on the highway. Highway Patrol says at some point an officer shot that man. He was taken to a nearby hospital. Right now, we don't know the victim's status. We will keep you updated as we learn more. St. Louis Public Schools rolling out 20 more buses for the upcoming school year. Acting Superintendent Millicent Borshade shared that update on the district's website. It comes after leaders said more than 3,800 students would need to get to school using rideshare programs. Officials are working on bus routes right now. Families should be notified by Monday. And the first day of school is almost here for students in the area. Today, Annie Malone helped families get ready. Hours ago, the organization held its third annual Family Fest. It's a back-to-school drive offering free school supplies and health screenings. Organizers say they do this to make things easier, especially for families who struggle with transportation.
Back to school events, if they're not happening in your community, you can't get to them, so we brought everything here. And we're 3 historic organizations along this stretch, so we just got all the resources here together to make a bigger impact. But it's very important that we do this together because leadership has to show the community how to do it together.
More than 2,500 families benefiting from today's giveaway.